Rushing into action, you fail. Trying to grasp things, you lose them. Forcing a project to completion, you ruin what was almost ripe. Therefore, the master takes action by letting things take their course. He remains as calm at the end as at the beginning. He has nothing, thus has nothing to lose. What he desires is non-desire. What he learns is to unlearn. He simply reminds people of who they have always been. He cares about nothing but the Tao. Thus, he can care for all things. To hold, you must first open your hand. Let go. My teachings are easy to understand and easy to put into practice, yet your intellect will never grasp them, and if you try to practice them, you'll fail. My teachings are older than the world. How can you grasp their meaning? If you want to know me, look inside your heart. Great acts are made up of small deeds. Fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife and it will blunt. He who stands on tiptoe doesn't stand firm. He who rushes ahead doesn't go far. He who tries to shine dims his own light. He who defines himself can't know who he really is. He who has power over others can't empower himself. He who clings to his work will create nothing that endures. If you want to accord with the Tao, just do your job, then let go. Do your work, then step back, the only path to serenity. When nothing is done, nothing is left undone. Perfection is the willingness to be imperfect. One who is too insistent on his own views finds few to agree with him. Be still. Stillness reveals the secrets of eternity. New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. Do you want to improve the world? I don't think it can be done. The world is sacred. It can't be improved. If you tamper with it, you'll ruin it. If you treat it like an object, you'll lose it. There is a time for being ahead, a time for being behind, a time for being in motion, a time for being at rest, a time for being vigorous, a time for being exhausted, a time for being safe, a time for being in danger. The master sees things as they are without trying to control them. She lets them go their own way and resides at the center of the circle. To bear and not to own, to act and not lay claim, to do the work and let it go, for just letting it go is what makes it stay. He who knows does not speak. He who speaks does not know. If you want to know me, look inside your heart. Become totally empty, quiet the restlessness of the mind. Only then will you witness everything unfolding from emptiness. Not knowing is true knowledge. Presuming to know is a disease. First, realize that you are sick. Then you can move toward health. The world belongs to those who let go. He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough. Colors blind the eye, sounds deafen the ear, flavors numb the taste, thoughts weaken the mind, desires wither the heart. If you wish to be out front, then act as if you were behind. A great nation is like a great man. When he makes a mistake, he realizes it. Having realized it, he admits it. Having admitted it, he corrects it. He considers those who point out his faults as his most benevolent teachers. He thinks of his enemy as the shadow that he himself casts. Let it be still, and it will gradually become clear. Would you like to save the world from the degradation and destruction it seems destined for? Then step away from shallow mass movements and quickly go to work on your own self-awareness. If you want to awaken all of humanity, then awaken all of yourself. If you want to eliminate the suffering in the world, then eliminate all that is dark and negative in yourself. Truly, the greatest gift you must give is that of your own self-transformation. There is no illusion greater than fear. Mastering others is strength. Mastering oneself makes you fearless. Love is of all the passions the strongest, for it attacks simultaneously the head, the heart, and the senses. If you show yourself, you will not be seen. If you affirm yourself, you will not shine. If you boast, you will have no merit. If you promote yourself, you will have no success. Respond to anger with virtue. Deal with difficulties while they are still easy. Handle the great while it is still small. He who acts spoils, he who grasps lets slip. Shape clay into a vessel. It is the space within that makes it useful. Cut doors and windows for a room. It is the holes which make it useful. Therefore, benefit comes from what is there, usefulness from what is not there. To realize that you do not understand is a virtue. Not to realize that you do not understand is a defect. What is firmly rooted cannot be pulled out. When the people of the world all know beauty as beauty, there arises the recognition of ugliness. When they all know the good as good, there arises the recognition of evil. Go to the people, live with them. Learn from them, love them, start with what they know, build with what they have. But with the best leaders, when the work is done, the task accomplished, the people will say, "We have done this ourselves." Take care with the end as you do with the beginning. When pure sincerity forms within, it is outwardly realized in other people's hearts. Failure is an opportunity. If you blame someone else, there is no end to the blame. Therefore, the master fulfills her own obligations and corrects her own mistakes. She does what she needs to do and demands nothing of others. Not seeking, not expecting, she is present and can welcome all things. Knowing others is wisdom. Knowing the self is enlightenment. Mastering others requires force. Mastering the self requires strength. He who knows he has enough is rich. Perseverance is a sign of willpower. The person of superior integrity does not insist upon his integrity. For this reason, he has integrity. The person of inferior integrity never loses sight of his integrity. For this reason, he lacks integrity. In the end, the treasure of life is missed by those who hold on and gained by those who let go. Some lose yet gain, others gain and yet lose. The difficult problems in life always start off being simple. Great affairs always start off being small. He is free from self-display, and therefore he shines. Those who know don't talk. Those who talk don't know. Close your mouth, block off your senses, blunt your sharpness, untie your knots, soften your glare, settle your dust. This is the primal identity. Be like the Tao. It can't be approached or withdrawn from, benefited or harmed, honored or brought into disgrace. It gives itself up continually. That is why it endures. If you are untrustworthy, people will not trust you. Be like water. Spring comes and the grass grows by itself. Fill your bowl to the brim and it will spill. Keep sharpening your knife and it will blunt. Chase after money and security, and your heart will never unclench. Care about people's approval, and you will be their prisoner. Do your work, then step back, the only path to serenity. The wise man does not lay up his own treasures. The more he gives to others, the more he has for his own. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. Watch your step. A man who knows how little he knows is well. A man who knows how much he knows is sick. If, when you see the symptoms, you can tell, your cure is quick. A sound man knows that sickness makes him sick, and before he catches it, his cure is quick. A good traveler leaves no tracks. Good speech lacks fault-finding. The heart that gives, gathers. Just remain in the center, watching, and then forget that you are there. The gentle overcomes the rigid, the slow overcomes the fast, the weak overcomes the strong. Everyone knows that the yielding overcomes the stiff, and the soft overcomes the hard. Yet no one applies this knowledge. If you want to awaken all of humanity, then awaken all of yourself. If you want to eliminate the suffering in the world, then eliminate all that is dark and negative in yourself. Truly, the greatest gift you must give is that of your own self-transformation. He who defends with love will be secure. Heaven will save him and protect him with love. The master observes the world, but trusts his inner vision. He allows things to come and go. He prefers what is within to what is without. When goodness is lost, there is morality. The road you can talk about is not the road you can walk on. Everything under heaven is a sacred vessel and cannot be controlled. Trying to control leads to ruin. Trying to grasp, we lose. Allow your life to unfold naturally. Know that it too is a vessel of perfection. Just as you breathe in and breathe out, there is a time for being ahead and a time for being behind, a time for being in motion and a time for being at rest, a time for being vigorous and a time for being exhausted, a time for being safe and a time for being in danger. Knowing others is wisdom. Knowing yourself is enlightenment. Knowing how to yield is strength. With no desire, at rest and still, all things go right as of their will. Must you value what others value, avoid what others avoid? How ridiculous! Without opening your door, you can open your heart to the world. Without looking out your window, you can see the essence of the Tao. The more you know, the less you understand. The master arrives without leaving, sees the light without looking, achieves without doing a thing. A violent wind does not last for a whole morning. A sudden rain does not last for the whole day. When you accept yourself, the whole world accepts you. Existence is beyond the power of words. To define, terms may be used, but are none of them absolute. In the beginning of heaven and earth, there were no words. Words came out of the womb of matter. And whether a man dispassionately sees to the core of life, or passionately sees the surface. The core and the surface are essentially the same, words making them seem different only to express appearance. If name is needed, wonder names them both. From wonder into wonder, existence opens. The softest things in the world overcome the hardest things in the world. Through this, I know the advantage of taking no action. To be worn out is to be renewed. There is no disaster greater than not being content. There is no misfortune greater than being covetous. He whose desires are few gets them. He whose desires are many goes astray. Under heaven, all can see beauty as beauty only because there is ugliness. All can know good as good only because there is evil. If lightning is the anger of the gods, then the gods are concerned mostly about trees. The flexible are preserved unbroken, the bent become straight, the empty are filled, the exhausted become renewed, the poor are enriched, the rich are confounded. Therefore the sage embraces the one. Because he doesn't display himself, people can see his light. Because he has nothing to prove, people can trust his words. Because he doesn't know who he is, people recognize themselves in him. Because he has no goal in mind, everything he does succeeds. The old saying that the flexible are preserved unbroken is surely right. If you have truly attained wholeness, everything will flock to you. The more laws and order are made prominent, the more thieves and robbers there will be. Where the mystery is the deepest is the gate of all that is subtle and wonderful. An over-sharpened sword cannot last long. He who overcomes himself is mighty. Do the difficult things while they are easy, and do the great things while they are small. A journey of 1,000 miles must begin with a single step. An ocean of ink in a single drop, trembling at the tip of my brush. Poised above stark white paper, a universe waits for existence. Chanting is no more holy than listening to the murmur of a stream. Counting prayer beads, no more scared than simply breathing. Religiously robed, no more spiritual than work clothes. Darkness within darkness, the gateway to all understanding. A skillful soldier is not violent, an able fighter does not rage, a mighty conqueror does not give battle, a great commander is a humble man. Look, and it can't be seen. Listen, and it can't be heard. Reach, and it can't be grasped. Above, it isn't bright. Below, it isn't dark. Seamless, unnameable, It returns to the realm of nothing, form that includes all forms, images without an image, subtle, beyond all conception. Approach it and there is no beginning, follow it and there is no end. You can't know it, but you can be it, at ease in your own life. Just realize where you come from. This is the essence of wisdom. Trying to control the future is like trying to take the master carpenter's place. When you handle the master carpenter's tools, chances are that you'll cut your hand. When wealth and honors lead to arrogancy, this brings its evil on itself. To speak little is natural. Therefore, a gale does not blow a whole morning, nor does a downpour last a whole day. From wonder into wonder existence opens. The way of heaven is to help and not harm. The moral man does something, and when no one responds, he rolls up his sleeves and uses force. Go to the people, live with them, learn from them, love them. Sincere words are not fine. Fine words are not sincere. In harmony with the Tao, the sky is clear and spacious, the earth is solid and full, all creatures flourish together, content with the way they are, endlessly repeating themselves, endlessly renewed. When man interferes with the Tao, the sky becomes filthy, the earth becomes depleted, the equilibrium crumbles, creatures become extinct. The Tao doesn't take sides. It gives birth to both good and evil. The Master doesn't take sides. She welcomes both saints and sinners. The Tao is like a bellows. It is empty yet infinitely capable. The more you use it, the more it produces. The more you talk of it, the less you understand. Hold on to the center. When people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Being and non-being create each other. Difficult and easy support each other. Long and short define each other. High and low depend on each other. Before and after follow each other. Therefore the Master acts without doing anything and teaches without saying anything. Things arise and she lets them come. Things disappear and she lets them go. She has but doesn't possess, acts but doesn't expect. When her work is done, she forgets it. That is why it lasts forever. Some say that my teaching is nonsense. Others call it lofty but impractical. But to those who have looked inside themselves, this nonsense makes perfect sense. And to those who put it into practice, this loftiness has roots that go deep. To know and yet think we do not know is the highest attainment. Not to know and yet think we do know is a disease. If you do not value rare treasures, you will stop others from stealing. Our enemies are not demons, but human beings like ourselves. As to the roaming of sages, they move in utter emptiness. Let their minds meander in the great nothingness. They run beyond convention and go through where there is no gateway. They listen to the soundless and look at the formless. They are not constrained by society and not bound to its customs. When I let go of what I am, I become what I might be. He who knows he has enough is rich. Perseverance is a sign of willpower. He who stays where he is endures. To die but not to perish is to be eternally present. A bad man is a good man's job. Always without desire we must be found. If you want to become whole, let yourself be partial. If you want to become straight, let yourself be crooked. If you want to become full, let yourself be empty. If you want to be reborn, let yourself die. If you want to be given everything, give everything up. To lead the people, walk behind them. With few there is attainment, with much there is confusion. Figure out the rhythm of life and live in harmony with it. If the people must be ever fearful of death, then there will always be an executioner. If you look to others for fulfillment, you will never truly be fulfilled. If your happiness depends on money, you will never be happy with yourself. Be content with what you have. Rejoice in the way things are. When you realize there is nothing lacking, the whole world belongs to you. There are few in the world who attain to the teaching without words and the advantage arising from non-action. The Tao that can be told is not the eternal Tao. Is it not through her selflessness that she is able to perfect herself? Composure is the ruler of instability. Stillness, the ruler of movement. Therefore, the sage puts his own person last, and yet it is found in the foremost place. He treats his person as if it were foreign to him, and yet that person is preserved. Abstaining from speech marks him who is obeying the spontaneity of his nature. All difficult things in the world are sure to arise from a previous state in which they were easy, and all great things from one in which they were small. Simplicity has no name, is free of desires. Being free of desires, it is tranquil, and the world will be at peace of its own accord. He who speaks does not know. He who knows does not speak. 30 spokes share the hub of a wheel, yet it is its center that makes it useful. You can mold clay into a vessel, yet it is its emptiness that makes it useful. Cut doors and windows from the walls of a house, but the ultimate use of the house will depend on that part where nothing exists. Therefore, something is shaped into what is, but its usefulness comes from what is not. The master dwells in the substantial and not in the superficial, rests in the fruit and not in the flower. The supreme good is like water, which nourishes all things without trying to. It is content with the low places that people disdain. Thus it is like the Tao. In dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. Subscribe for more videos. Thank you.